The United Cajun Navy surprised many people that showed up for a recent search in Hendersonville for Sebastian Rogers. Just before people were preparing to gather, the United Cajun Navy came out with a post on Facebook and said they were calling off their search for Sebastian Rogers over security reasons.
They claim they've received threats. To your knowledge, have they filed any police reports or reports to the Sheriff's Department documenting any of these alleged threats?
No, sir.
Are we able to learn anything about what those threats are?
They would have to call the police and report them.
Pressed for more details, the United Cajun Navy said they are concerned over the security for their staff and volunteers, as some are getting death threats online and in person. They said they were going to regroup in a few days and decide how best to move forward.
The volunteer group United Cajun Navy reportedly getting death threats for their efforts in finding Sebastian Rogers. It's unclear who the threats are coming from. United Cajun Navy says they plan to start the search back up, but in private, adding that they don't want certain groups or personalities getting in the way.
Yes, stay away from the United Cajun Navy. They are a scam. They're scam. They're scam. They're faking. They're lying to the public about their searches.
The group also taking to their Facebook page to share this post, writing anyone that impedes on their search will be a person of interest.
Now, I understand people are, speculating, and I get it. That's just the nature of our society, especially when it comes to social media. But, I would like to see that energy from speculating diverted to finding Sebastian.
Sebastian Rogers was reported missing February 26th when his mother went to wake him up for school and found his bedroom empty. Authorities swarmed the area looking for the teen. Hundreds of people from across Tennessee participated in the early searches. Particularly on March 22nd, the same day that Riley Strain was found in the Cumberland River in Nashville, Tennessee. A search group called the United Cajun Navy was called in by Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers. And this is where Julia, the canine handler, comes in. As you're going to hear in just a minute, she says she was brought in by the Cajun Navy, which was brought in by Seth Rogers. Take a listen.
So I want to get to your direct involvement in the Sebastian Rogers case, if you are still involved, and how that transpired and how you were contacted. And, because I heard a lot of things at the very beginning, that the dogs searched along a pathway by the Proudfoot home, and then they were sniffing out the retention pond and nothing was found. I just want to know, how you got involved, how you got started, and just where you're at right now.
Yeah, so I'm not with the law enforcement organizations down there. I was contacted by a member of the Cajun Navy, actually, who found me through some social media algorithm, found my canine company.
Stay away from the United Cajun Navy. They are a scam. They're scam. They're scam. They're faking. They're lying to the public about their searches.
I was contacted by a member of the Cajun Navy, actually.
Live guest on a podcast called J is for Justice.
I think there's just hope that she returns no matter what. Oh my God, that's Megan's house. Oh my God. Oh my God.
And then,
wait a second, you guys. We have breaking news. All of a sudden in the chat, there was breaking news that there was a raid going on in Houston, Texas. It may be connected to a high-profile case.
That's her best friend. She would not be.
Hey everyone, welcome back to J is for Justice. My name is Jay, and I am your host. In this video, we're going to go through everything that happened when the Cajun Navy got involved in the Sebastian Rogers case. We're going to hear from JLR. We're going to hear from Julia. We're going to hear from T-Rev 757.
Look at this shit. The dude in the back's like this. He's like...
This is going to be a deep dive into that point in time in this case. And I feel like this could be where the shift took place for me. Well, before we can get into the mess with the Cajun Navy, we've got to get into how they even came on the scene in the first place. Let's get into it.
No, ma'am. So here, to set that record straight and help the United Cajun Navy. So somebody's got a picture out there saying that we are enjoying a dinner when we're actually out there, got flyers at a dinner table because we needed to eat. My wife was on the phone with the Cajun Navy. That's how the Cajun Navy was brought in. And we talked to the president of the United Cajun Navy. He put us in touch with their team that was here locally in Nashville. Then that young lady reached back out to us, gave us some more information. We gave her some more details. Then they said they would start a search, but we also had them get in direct contact with the TBI agent as well as Sumter County's Sheriff's Department. We provided all that information. They reached out to them, got some information. They pushed outside of the areas that had been searched already, conducted a search. Somehow or another, they linked up with the bio father, who supposedly got a tip from somewhere. Whether or not it was credible or not, we don't know. But it led them to searching on federal property without permission.
In about 5 to 10 minutes of being in this particular area by railroad tracks, someone had found a rock with, it looked like there was blood, and there was something wrapped in tape. And so, weird stuff. But then we were asked to leave, and there's a bunch of people out here kind of standing around and stuff. But yes, this is in Hendersonville, Tennessee, on the search for Sebastian Rogers.
Which is where we have been informed at some point that there was allegedly a hit on something, but turned out to be nothing, and they were asked to leave the property immediately or the cops were going to be called because it was trespassing based off of a tip that the bio father received.
And I'm a little bit ticked off because a lot of you guys know that I've been putting in all my heart and passion on our end, right? Magnolia has been assisting me. Other people around me have been doing great, phenomenal work. The United Cajun Navy had the police called on me yesterday up at their so-called search meeting site. I was just minding my business in my car, and this guy who identifies himself as Skip Butler runs up on my car and tells me I have to leave immediately or he's calling the police. And I said, what do you mean I gotta leave immediately? I'm not doing anything wrong. What's going on? This guy right here. Beware of this guy because he's using multiple names, folks. He told me he's Skip Butler, United Cajun Navy, when they were down there in Nashville. He's calling himself Skip Parker. Who is this guy? He does not want to be filmed. He's the one that is running. He's the man, the United Cajun Navy, their founder, I guess so we did some research, folks. There's multiple branches of the Cajun Navy, right? But the United Cajun Navy is an offshoot of original Cajun Navy. And those other Cajun Navies do not like United Cajun Navy at all. They do not. They say they manipulate things. They lie. They're in it for the money.
I was contacted by a member of the Cajun Navy, actually,
They're
who found
in
me
it
through
for themselves. Well, this guy up here approaches me and he says I got to get out of here. He's going to call the cops. I actually left, but I called him a scam artist to his face, and he called the cops. I left, and then I had an interaction with Hendersonville police. Professional, totally cool. They were cool, totally cool. You see, he did nothing wrong, whatever like that. Shook all their hands. They actually watched the channel. Now, some people in the chat are saying another live streamer has had the same situation where they did the same thing. These people are evil, folks. The founder, Todd Terrell, his name is Christopher Todd Terrell. He has numerous cases of outstanding child support from Louisiana. And the irony of this whole situation is, look on the case logs in Baton Rouge. The guy owes buku amounts of child support, and they're out here using a child, folks, and pretending they're having searches. Their vice president went on Nancy Grace yesterday and had the audacity to say that spot, remember that spot where that dog hit at Rockland Creek? or Rockland Recreation Center. Remember that dog spot?
Volunteers and myself were in the woods back here, and 6 cadaver dogs picked up and hit a certain area by these train tracks. And I'm going to show you the footage right here that I took of one of the cadaver dogs that they had. Pretty weird stuff. 6 cadaver dogs picked up on a specific area without being led there. That is what I'm told here. There was about 20 of us that went out in groups. We were in a line, and then we were all asked to keep walking. And within
their vice president had the audacity and went on to Nancy Grace and say that it was a dead homeless man there.
Yeah, to Brian Trasher, VP of Cajun Navy, let's clear it up. Isn't it true this is on federal property that had been closed off? It was a hurricane site earlier.
Tornado.
It was also, yes,
Tornado.
thank you. And it was also near railroad tracks, and some homeless people had been living there, and apparently one of them had died, and we believe that is what the dogs were hitting on. Is that correct?
Yeah, all the above is correct, and we did not gain access to the property. It had already been open when we got there. I'm not sure how entry was gained, but yeah, everything above it that you just said was correct.
And say that it was a dead homeless man there. It ended up being a dead homeless. There was no dead homeless man there. Authorities didn't find a body there. It's a complete lie there.
Or she's on the phone, folks. So, they know the behavior of the dog. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, I need y'all to go back.
Okay, they're kicking us out.
Okay.
All right, everyone, follow out. They're kicking us out, so they might have something here, folks. This is a professional dog handler here that knows a lot about dogs and has told us to leave, so we're backing out. We're going back to the parking lot, folks. Something's going on here, possibly. Rockland Recreation Center. Baylor investigates. There's something going on. Also, another searcher claims that they saw some tape with blood on it back here. So I don't know what's going on, folks. But the lady made a phone call, and they are bringing us out. I don't know what this means. Stand by. We'll find out.
Keep going.
So I am at Rockland Recreation Center, Hendersonville. And this is the main parking lot here. And they have now kicked all the volunteers out of the area. The dog came in, and apparently the dog might have hit on something. It did. So people are saying to me that it did. So they kicked us all out. Now what happens at this point? Possibly law enforcement might arrive, or they bring the next chain of command to evaluate the situation, but we are out here. What's going on here? Let's see what happens.
Thank you so much. I hope you guys learned something. You all have
I think that we're being searched right now.
I think law enforcement's coming.
Because of
I think they're telling the volunteers that's it, right?
Right.
Folks, we might have something here. Really?
Okay, check out. Thank you.
I'll find out who exactly found this mound. She's on the phone at the end. Seth Rogers has arrived again. He's been here I've seen him here all day. He's the first person here. What's the next step? What's going on? They contacted LE?
Well, honestly, this is private property, which I knew that. I thought everybody did. And it is locked. But I don't think that we can go to jail for this. But,
yeah.
The dog's over there now, and what they hit on.
So they're going to bring law enforcement?
We're waiting. Apparently somebody's already called them, I guess, on us. Wonder who did that. Okay, so we're going to the next one? No,
Where was that, on the other side there? What's that?
Anchor River Road.
River Road. Where's that, on the other side of it?
River Road.
Sir,
yes.
Would you get in your car and go, please? No, we're done.
I'm
no.
walking.
No, get in with her.
I'm car sick. I can't walk right now.
Well, then go now, please.
What's going on?
Nothing. We're on a federal property.
Oh,
we
that's
didn't
on
have
everyone.
permission.
Gotcha.
Fish and Wildlife.
Gotcha.
And I'm the PD ordinary. Where are you going?
Going up to the end of the road. They want everybody off the road. So, yeah, they're telling everybody to get off the road now. They're telling everybody, get in your cars now. Get off the road. Get off the road. So I'm going to walk up to the front of the road. And arrives, we'll see, we'll see what's going on. But they don't want anyone on the property. So something's going on, folks. They're kicking everyone off.
It did hit on something. I mean, is it? It could be something that was blown over that looked like.
Are they bringing LE?
Apparently they were, because hell, somebody called. They were going to have us put out.
Yeah.
And we had to get out now. I mean, I was like, okay, we got to go.
Gotcha.
And but no, there was something. There's a fresh mound of something. I don't know what it could be, but the dog did hit it. It alerted. I've seen the alert. You seen the alert. And there was something that had some.
Well, what brought them to that location?
A tip.
A tip.
Yes.
A tip from.
That was called in. I just knew a tip was called in on that one. And then there's. This is where we're meeting here.
Yeah.
And we have a few more places that we're going to go.
Okay, so there's multiple searches.
There's another one that was never searched that should have been searched to begin with, and it never was.
Gotcha.
When the initial searching was went on the 5-mile radius. Come on, car, keep coming. Car, they don't want to. So the 5-mile radius search, the 5-mile radius search, it was just a little bit out of that grid part, which I did see it. It was shown to me earlier this morning. That was a big screw up right there.
Gotcha.
But they never searched. There's a cave, I think.
A cave?
There's a cave and some other things. But we were initially going to be. I'll show you what we're going to go.
Thank you for the ride.
You're welcome. I hope you take.
And now it's time for a game of Seth Says. Let's hear a little bit more about that tip that came in that alerted the Cajun Navy to go to that area.
I want to figure out, Brian Trasher, how you picked that particular area to search.
It was a combination of some information when we first got there that Seth provided, some areas that he had showed us that had already been searched and areas that he felt would be good to search. Other areas were just kind of triangulating from the last known location of the young man at his home and trying to figure out some places he would have been easy for him to walk to, places that he frequented before. We knew that there were some places that he liked to visit, but from what his mother said, he didn't have a history of wandering off without telling anybody. So we wanted to make sure that we were searching every nook and cranny that we could to find this boy.
To focus on that one area. Joining me in the last moments, Brian Trasher joining us, VP of the United Cajun Navy. Brian, you and I have been talking a lot is happening. One, you called off the search one day just before the search started. And two, there's a lot of hate going on against the Cajun Navy. I don't get it. You're out there on your own time, volunteering, trying to help find Sebastian or a clue of Sebastian. Somebody is full of a lot of hate for volunteers, which proves no good deed goes unpunished. And I'm hearing, by the way, the same thing, something similar, from Seth Rogers, who is Sebastian's bio dad. The searches are being torpedoed. I don't understand it. Number one, Brian Trasher, why has the Cajun Navy pulled out of a search?
Well, just to be clear, we gave up or called off leading the public searches. So we're no longer putting out a public call for volunteers and leading searches with volunteers. We did have some volunteers that were threatened despite what the local PD said in their press conference. We did have some credible threats. We have recordings of telephone threats. We have surveillance video of in-person threats. I know it was said that there was no police report filed. There was a police report filed about a threat with Metro Nashville PD. It's not clear as to whether those departments share information with each other. But we did provide a copy of that report with your producers just to show that we are telling the truth. Why the hate? I think that there are some people out there who make money off of tragedies. And when volunteer groups come in and try to take over and help, I think it takes away from their potential revenue. And when you mess with people's money, they get mad.
This guy rolls up to a bowling alley and tells everyone they got to sign in and check in and make sure you donate. Donate. I think that's just part of it. I had a conversation with Seth Rogers on Easter Sunday. He has his own theories about why himself and other volunteer groups are being impeded in the search for Sebastian, about why they're receiving so much online hate. I'll let Seth speak for himself and his own experience.
Yes, we'll do that. I want to talk to you about you and the Cajun Navy. I heard some of the threats myself, recorded threats. But could you succinctly, in a nutshell, explain what type of threats have been leveled against members of the Cajun Navy who are out trying to find Sebastian?
Basically just a lot of, we're going to run you out of town. We're going to dox you. We're going to, tell everybody where your family lives, things like that. But, Nancy, what we've found is that we've run background checks on all the people that have made these threats. They thought they could remain anonymous, and they're all career criminals. They all have rap sheets a mile long. So criminal activity is nothing new to them. So it doesn't surprise us that they would have the gumption to go ahead and make threats like this. But I think what they were mistaken is when they thought there was going to be no retaliation. And when we basically started exposing these people and putting information out there, boy, they really freaked out. So my message to those people making threats, if you'll stop lying about the United Cajun Navy, we'll stop telling the truth about you.
Okay, you know what? I don't really care, Brian, who's lying on who. Those are just words. I care about finding Sebastian, and I care about someone trying to torpedo the search, be it with law enforcement, with the Cajun Navy, with Seth Rogers, the biological father of Sebastian. Seth Rogers, you've told me that someone is also trying to sabotage your search for your own son. What's happening?
Somebody doesn't want me to find my son. They have been there's things that have been coming in off the internet that I need to stop searching for him. I've had people following me around since And since I would say day 9, day 10, people have been following me around. Once I started getting volunteers to help me, they started following around my volunteers, trying to be an intimidative factor. And now I found out that not only that, but they're going back to where we've already flyered, and they're taking the flyers down.
Okay, I don't know what to make of this. Brian Trasher is the vice president of the United Cajun Navy, okay? And there have been many incarnations of the Cajun Navy. But this is what I know. This group is out searching for Sebastian. They called off part of the search because they perceived threats. Now the bio dad, Seth, is telling me that flyers have been torn down for Sebastian. I don't understand that. What's happening, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, as you heard us say in the past, you now heard Sebastian's father, Seth, say that there are, without question, people in the local community, whether the locals or not remains to be seen, but there are people there in Sumner County that do not want this boy found, and they want people who are searching for him to stop, and they've resorted to threats to try to make them stop. Fortunately, it hasn't worked because we still have people out there looking, and I know Seth is not going to stop looking for his son.
What can you tell me about that retention pond? There were reports a dog had hit on the retention pond. The pond was drained and nothing was found. Do I have that correct?
I don't have any information with regards to that. I know there's been a lot of confusion about when dogs hit and where and things like that. We go with the information that we have at the time. My understanding is that that pond was drained and nothing was found there. But Seth might be able to tell you a little bit more about some of the areas that the dogs searched closer to the home and if there were confirmed hits.
Donate. Now, I just want to stress, folks, I'm a little bit ticked off because they're pulling off a scam, and I actually reported them to the local authority. These are gypsies. These are opportunists. These are the type of people. I'm going to tell you who these people are. And you could do your own research in Google because the United Cajun Navy is involved with scandals, folks. There's articles out there. Their so-called leader has been involved with racks of restraining orders and legal problems because other organizations say they skip out on paying money, they solicit funds, they pocket it for themselves, they don't use it for what they're using it for. Look it up. Look it up. Do not associate with these people whatsoever. They're lying to you. They're lying to you. Now, I had a long conversation with Seth Rogers last night. I 100% support that man, support the inner circle of him. They are great people. They are passionate. They are trying to find it. And they're actually, they want help. And I get it. But I told him my feelings. I told them and they understand. And I don't want to make this about me. This is supposed to be about Sebastian. These people are not working with law enforcement. There was no, matter of fact, my honest take, now that I'm looking at it into another person, I think their dogs just false hit. I don't think their dogs found anything. And then they actually sit in the cut and make all the volunteers go, and they have this organized thing, and then they start distributing all over their platforms. United Cajun Navy's here to help. Whatever. You know, they're actually kind of taking credit online of finding Riley. They didn't find Riley. They didn't find Riley. You know who found Riley. It wasn't them. So this guy here, and I made a clip because there's two. Listen to this. This is wild. I'm going to show you something here. I called him out right to his face when he came. Listen, why don't they want to be live streamed? Why don't they want to be recorded doing their organization? You know why? Because they're not regulated to do this. They're not the professionals to do this, folks. They're just a ragtag group that came from another state that comes up in here loosely organized with a representative of them and then solicit money and donations from people and then try to go out there and say, we're searching. They said they're claiming they're doing searches today, but everyone has to meet at the bowling alley where the bowling alley where Sebastian and his mom went. They're meeting at a bowling alley. My thing is, what are you going to do at a bowling alley? You going to walk down the streets of Henderson searching? No, they're going to do that because they want cameras on them, media to say, Cajun Navy's out here, Cajun Navy. Boom. They're now synonymous with the Sebastian Rogers search. As if they're doing something. They're not doing nothing. I've been here, boots on the ground. They're pushing the live streamers away. They don't want you to live stream. It's prohibited. They literally called the police on me. And I've done nothing wrong. And I wasn't in no trouble or nothing. Police, they laughed at it. They said it's frivolous. Frivolous. But look at this guy. Hold on.
Everything gets set up.
So I'm just minding in my car and I see this guy roll up on me. I'm like, all right, there's trouble. So I'm just start recording.
This is private property. I need you to leave, buddy. When everything gets mobilized, everything gets set up, this is private property.
Who are you?
My name is Skip Butler.
Skip, I'm JLO Investigate. How are you? You're telling me to get off this property?
I'm not doing any interviews. I'm asking you to leave this private property, please.
This morning, United Cajun Navy Nation, we are here at the Shelby Park boat launch in Nashville. And we have our volunteer from South Carolina who just turned around and looked this way. His name's Skip Parker. And it's
now, if you heard that, he tells me, Skip Butler, United Cajun Navy, saying in their own video themselves that he's Skip Parker. Who is this guy?
Sumner County Commissioner Don Schmidt shares his concerns.
I did receive a phone call from Skip Butler a couple of days ago, and he had reached out to me. And as soon as he told me that, that he was getting death threats and they were, fearing for their safety, I said, you need to call law enforcement right away.
And I'm a little bit.
They claim they've received threats. To your knowledge, have they filed any police reports or reports to the Sheriff's Department documenting any of these alleged threats?
No, sir.
Are we able to learn anything about what those threats are?
They would have to call the police and report them.
So while all of this was going on, and both parents were called to sit down with law enforcement at the request of law enforcement, Eric Craddock said that there was no such threats that were documented with the sheriff's office. And he also noted that the United Cajun Navy is operating independently and have not reached out to them.
Who is this guy? Like, literally, who is this guy? Now, look, I'm going to play the actual full clip.
This is private property. I need you to leave, buddy. When everything gets mobilized, everything gets set up, this is private property.
Who are you?
My name is Skip Butler.
Skip, I'm JLO Investigate. How are you? You're telling me to get off this property?
I'm not doing any interviews. I'm asking you to leave this private property, please. This is private property. I'm asking you to leave.
Is it your property?
I'm asking you to leave. This is private property.
No, I'm not. Call the police. Call the police. Why don't you get off the property? Why don't you get off the property? How are you going to tell another citizen to get off a property? Shame on you. Why are you scamming people? Why are you scamming people? Why are you scamming people?
Why is he scamming people? Who is that guy? I encourage everyone to stay away from them and report them on who they are. They are not doing any searches. They put out these Facebook posts trying to draw people in. It's one of those things like they put these posts and then they say, oh yeah, we're going to do searches. They haven't done no searches, folks. Matter of fact, they put on for days that they were going to go to Rockland Recreation Center. Guess what? I called Rockland Recreation Center yesterday and asked them about any searches on that property. They didn't know what I was talking about. I called the management on their phone. If you go to Rockland Recreation Center and look on the sign on the outside, there's a phone number there. You can call management. They knew nothing about dogs, nothing about searches on their property. But they, on their own site, was putting out, oh, we have to navigate through federal lands. You need to come through us. We need to do this properly and professionally. They're not working with law enforcement. Law enforcement is not interested in Rockland Recreation Center. They're not interested. But look at this guy. This is the vice president who went on Nancy Grace yesterday. You know the Nancy Grace. He said, I've been in contact with the United Cajun Navy. Now, stressing point, we're talking about United Cajun Navy. There's multiple Cajun Navies. There's actually some good Cajun Navies out there. Cajun Navy 216, they called out the United Cajun Navy. But he said, I've been in contact with the United Cajun Navy. They will be updating after searches are complete as to not attract crowds, which might overstimulate their canines. That's crazy, folks. So basically what they're saying is They're going to have secret searches, but they don't want anyone to know their searches because they don't want to disrupt their canines. And then afterward, they'll tell you about the searches. Oh, we searched here, but we can't tell you where the searches are. You can't live stream the searches. These are all on federal land all over the place, right? Well, yeah, Rockland Recreation Center is federal land. It is federal land. But guess what? There's not much land and there's nothing there.
A popular park in Hendersonville is going to be closed for the next several months from all the extensive damage they got from last month's tornado. Rockland Recreation Area, look at this, got heavy damage after that EF2 tornado ripped through Hendersonville. Now, the Nashville district of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers says 80% of the area took a direct hit, with more than 50% of the area's trees now just destroyed. 2 shelters are deemed a complete loss as well, while another shelter on the property has been severely damaged. Operations Project Manager Freddie Bell knows it's a popular area for visitors to check out, but because the damage is so severe, they still don't have an exact date on when they're going to reopen that park.
We are speaking about a massive debris field, tree salvage, landscaping. We're talking about infrastructure. We're talking about everything from trash cans to grills, sidewalks, picnic tables, a holistic rebuild of the recreation area.
Bell says they're working right now. They need to complete a comprehensive assessment. That then allows them to figure out the funding and then award the contracts so they could, with the goal of fully restoring and rebuilding that recreation area.
Authorities don't want anything there. So where else are you going to search? Where else is the Cajun Navy really going to search? Where are they going to search? But anyway, this Todd Terrell guy, Christopher Todd Terrell, his real name, the dude has warrants out for him for delinquent on child support.
I was contacted by a member of the Cajun Navy, actually, who found me through some social media algorithm, found my canine company. And he reached out to me saying, hi, I was here for weed people down for the Riley Strain investigation, which rest in peace, Riley, that was really heartbreaking to hear.
$12,423.80 delinquent in Baton Rouge, a parish. I'm going to get this guy's mugshot.
And he reached out to me saying, hi, I was here for weed people down for the Riley Strain investigation, which rest in peace, Riley, that was really heartbreaking to hear. And he reached out to me and we started talking back and forth. And then he said, have you heard about the Sebastian Rogers case? And I said, and at the time I honestly hadn't. And I was this is just after they found Riley. And I was like, no, I have not really. I mean, I do a lot of canine work in Pennsylvania. So it's just I know about a lot of Pennsylvania or New Jersey missing people because they pop up. So he filled me in. We talked on the phone, and then he directed me to a bunch of YouTube interviews because that's what I had at the time with news people and everything. So I was researching the investigation, and I had no way of getting in touch with Seth or Chris or Katie. Mm-hmm. So because I'm sure they had a bunch of social media messages, just hey, and I get it. I get overwhelmed sometimes too with a bunch of messages. So I don't remember who the podcaster was, but I typed a message on their page saying, hi, I'm a certified canine handler nationally. I've been trying to get in touch with Seth or find a way to.
I know. You guys, I see Jules. Shout out to Jules. I've known Jules was a real one. Jules I'm pretty sure she reached out to me a while ago. And I mean, a while ago. I know Jules is a real one. There's no questions on that. I see some people in the chat may have that mixed up. And you know what? Let's go ahead and kill that right now. Let's kill that right now.
Hey, Zero, what's up?
Jules, my friend, how you doing tonight?
Well, I'm a little drained, but I'm okay.
Drained from the bullshit, right? I mean, let's get to it.
Me too, because I called the tip line that goes to Sumner County, and I think
TBI, yeah.
Yeah, they were just kind of well, he's got a bunch of random people reaching out to him. And then the agent I spoke to was I'm sure you're accredited, you sound legit, but we have a lot of people. So let me see what the family says. And nothing was really coming of that because they were so overwhelmed. It wasn't because, I had something. So
yeah,
eventually this YouTuber did give Seth my contact information, but Seth didn't have social media, so he had like a friend of his reach out to me on Instagram, and we were going back and forth. So Seth was the first person in the family I talked to about this. So that's kind of how I got involved with the family.
I know. You guys, I see Jules. Shout out to Jules. I've known Jules was a real one. Jules I'm pretty sure she reached out to me a while ago, and I mean a while ago. I know Jules is a real one. There's no questions on that. I see some people in the chat may have that mixed up. And you know what? Let's go ahead and kill that right now. Let's kill that right now.
Hey, Zero, what's up?
Jules, my friend, how you doing tonight?
Well, I'm a little drained, but I'm okay.
Drained from the bullshit, right? I mean, let's get to it.
Yeah, that's essentially it. And I'll keep this quick just because, I know there's like, I appreciate you defending me and everything. It's just a more so like people were giving me crap because they're like, oh, how did you not know? And it's just like, listen, when you have somebody who like has the same field of experience as you, like I've never had someone tell me they're a fake handler, so like why would I need to question her if she's like, and if you watched that, and I know you were watching the stream, but I don't know if you saw, but there was a point in time where you could see my face change, like I was starting to figure it out. That's why I was just like, okay. I asked her what her national cert was, and she pretended she couldn't hear me, and the audio wasn't working. And that's when you see my face change, and even people in the chat were just like, Jules, why are you so quiet? And I'm just like, I didn't want to call her out right then and there. Like, it wouldn't have been professional for me right then and there. And I know Jay thought the same thing, because we both kind of like, I looked at her on the computer screen, and she kind of looked, like, quote unquote at me. And it was just like, I think we both, but we didn't want to call her out right then and there, because that wouldn't have been professional. You don't know what someone's going to do or if they're going to freak out. So we didn't want to do that.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, why cause all that drama on a live stream and put on a wild show to add more drama than already what it's gonna add? I agree. I agree with you.
Yeah. I did see that. So you got two of my soldiers in your chat, apparently, that were reaching out to me. I asked about, and I'll just say real quick, because there's one person on Twitter, and Nicole, who's in chat, can back me up on this. There was this guy on Twitter that was like saying stuff about search and rescue dogs, and yes, my one dog can sniff through concrete. Dogs can. There's a dog in England. I posted a study about this on Facebook. There was a dog in England in 2008 that detected child remains underneath it may be like 17 feet of concrete, and the child remains would typically be from 1980, and this is in 2008. So yes, dogs can sniff through concrete. It's all depending on training and what you do. And also, when she said her dog couldn't track in the rain, I was like, what kind of search and rescue handler are you if your dog can't track in the rain? Like, I take my dogs out in the snow, the rain, the mud, the freaking Pennsylvania avalanches, quote unquote, that we have out here, the pine needles, and you train just because you go get terrain associated. So I don't want to talk to them, but I appreciate your support. It's just, and for clearing that up, it's just people have been mixing us up on social media. And if you notice, she followed me to almost every live stream somehow randomly. I don't know how she knew where I was at, but she was just there.
She's here now.
It was weird.
She's here now. She is probably. I'm just guessing, but I mean, if she was there the whole time, she's there now.
Yeah, that's weird. So it's just like she's following me to all the chats, and she would always hop on after me and talk to people, and I'm just like, why? Thank you, Chrissy, for saying my dog's beautiful or pretty. Sorry. But yeah, I don't want to talk too long because I know you got a bunch of people that want to say stuff. I just really want to say thank you, and I appreciate it. And to anyone who is wondering, I don't feel this weekend because I want to spend time with my mom today and stuff, just because, how many Mother's Days, you never know when your last Mother Day is going to come with your mom, but I'll be there, and I'll be back down, and I'll be there to find Sebastian, and we're going to bring this boy home. Nothing's going to deter me. So it'll happen. So we're going to bring this boy home one way or the other, and we're going to get closure. We're going to reunite, and I'm just going to keep praying, So thank you, T-Rev, for everything you do.
Absolutely, Jules. And That's crazy. That sucks that happened to you last night like that. You were just doing something, coming up there and wanting to talk about, the case, obviously, and things with the dog, which is wonderful stuff to hear. I mean, it sucks that you had got dragged into that. But again, you were catching those things, as you said, like weird things that were off. But everybody who was in chat, Jules is the real deal and not some phony stock pick having fake. So, separate that, please. Jules, thank you so much for calling up and clarifying, or actually emailing me your number so I could call you to clarify some things. I did, because I think it's important to keep your name like you're saying, because I've seen you on posts too, with where people are saying or having you and Steph mixed up, and they're digging into you, and it's like, no, that's the wrong person.
Yeah, and my one NCO, my one soldier meant to make a good point. With the whole, it's funny how after, you mentioned something through concrete, the phone calls are happening and everything else. And I'm just like, you know what? I didn't think about that till right now, but yeah. And again, I'm not blaming, it's just ironic that she came into the picture then. Where was she before? And I'm not saying anyone put her up to it. It just maybe she's an attention seeker. Maybe who knows? I don't know, but it's just weird that was the moment in time where she came out of nowhere. Because I never knew she was before. Just so people know, I don't work with her. I've never partnered up with her. I was talking with her about like getting an Airbnb and whatnot, or staying with my cousin Howie, who lives in Brentwood. But it's just like there was just something weird. And like the family picture she sent me, the picture she sent to Jay is for Justice of the Texas Roadhouse gift card. She sent me that same picture. And she's like, thought of Sebastian today. This is the last place he ate. And there's a picture of a gift card. And I thought that was kind of creepy, but I also was just like, okay, well, maybe she's just like sentimental, or I don't know. But that was weird. She sent me a picture of a Texas Royals gift card. And I'm just like, okay, well, yeah, that's the last place he ate at. Cool. But it was weird, like when people do creepy shit like that, I'm just like, maybe it's just her character. But now that I think about it, I'm like, okay.
So crazy. And if I do want to let you know, if you need anything while you're out there, any help with anything, feel free to reach out to me, and I got you. Again, if you need any help with anything,
pick you up, and me and CJ and Southern everybody, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna go, searching. So I think it'd be fun for us all to go searching together, because I know it'd be a good group, and we have a good group of people to go searching with. Vibes are good, everything's uppity up, and I think it'd be good if we all went together to do that. So I like searching with good people. I don't go in huge groups again, because like the post I made, it's just I don't like going in huge groups because there's a lot of things up. But like I think if we had a good core group, it'd be fun. But I encourage everybody, keep going out there or sharing his picture if you live too far. Just keep his name out there, and let's bring this boy home.
Thank you, Jules. We appreciate you. Can't wait to see you out there. Can't wait to see what you find. Hopefully, you never know. You never know what you may find, and we'll be praying for you. God bless you. Thank you so much. And I hope you had a great Mother's Day. I did hear you say you spent it with your mom, correct?
Yeah,
That's
it was
awesome.
Yeah, it was way needed, and she supported me doing all this stuff. So I appreciate you. If you have a good rest of the night, I'll hang up for a bit, but then I definitely have to go to bed. But I'll talk to you later.
You too, Jules. Thank you so much. God bless you. We appreciate you so much. Jules, great phone call from her, and her clarifying that. I get it. She's drained from the BS. What is that? That's
and then from there, he did talk to Chris about me, and he sent my credentials over to Chris. All my certifications, training stuff, proof I had security clearance in the Army. And Chris was, he was receptive of it. It did take some time to get back. And again, he's got a lot of people emailing him and texting him and calling him. He still works, a full-time job. And then from there on, that's kind of how it continued to go on. And I am still involved. It's just I'm doing things on my own, per se, search-wise, because the drama's gotten to be a lot, as everybody knows. I just prefer to focus solely on like the canine search aspect, because there's so many different questions I had initially. Like you said, the track to the retention pond. One dog went to a dumpster. One dog went to like a construction site. Like it seems like they're going like all over the place. So for me as a handler, in my experience, I have questions about like where these dogs were trained and certified through, or if Sebastian was walking around the front yard, maybe like a day before they were missing, he like went running towards the construction site just to go explore, or maybe he went running towards like the pond. So
Well,
there's so many different questions.
yeah, sorry. Let me stop you for a minute to clarify a few things. The dogs that you're referring to that have searched in Tennessee in these areas, these are canines from law enforcement, or are these canines from the Cajun Navy, or do you know exactly?
Yeah, so Sumner County, Max, their Malinois, he was the first one to get a track, and then he's the one that jumped in the retention pond.
Max picked track back up, going into the construction site over here back towards the beach. It's awful muddy. Do you see any footprints, anything? Couldn't have any shoes. Doug, is it? I do have some footprints. Right there where you're standing? Yeah, leading right over here to the retaining. No shoes, just footprints? He literally dove into it. Max led me straight to the retaining pond. He dove into the water. Have you seen any prints around it? There was a few footprints in some of the softer dirt headed straight this way on the track that he was running. Do we have a picture yet?
Both, Sumner County told me that, and Chris told me the dog did track to a retention pond and jumped in the pond. And
But you don't know what type of dog that was, what type of canine, what that canine specialized
Oh, right.
in.
Yeah, I did look it up on the website. I did see he was tracking certified. But I didn't see if he was cadaver certified. I think
What
he
is
was
tracking
specifically
certified?
Yeah, so like article search tracking. So that's when the dog is given an item that belongs to the missing
Cajun
person.
Navy 216, they called out the United Cajun Navy. But he said, I've been in contact with the United Cajun Navy. They will be updating after searches are complete as to not attract crowds, which might overstimulate their canines. That's crazy, folks. So basically what they're saying is they're going to have secret searches, but they don't want anyone to know their searches because they don't want to disrupt their canines. And then afterward, they'll tell you about the searches. Oh, we searched here, but we can't tell you where the searches are. You can't live stream the searches. These are all on federal land all over the place, right? Well, yeah, Rockland Recreation Center is federal land. It is federal land. But guess what? There's not much land and there's nothing there.
So here you see is the Rockland Recreation Area, which was hit by tornadoes and closed in January of 2022. They opened the boat ramp for the summer, but the park remains closed.
Authorities don't want anything there. So where else are you going to search? Where else is the Cajun Navy really going to search? Where are they going to search? But anyway, this Todd Terrell guy, Christopher Todd Terrell, his real name, the dude has warrants out for him for delinquent on child support. $12,423.80 delinquent.
That shit does look like a fucking gay porn, bro. Hold on, I gotta run that back. Look at him, they're like, you see that shit? Homie was like this, bro. In the video, he's like, I'm like, what the fuck is that shit, bro? Like, what the fuck is going on? That dude in the back, bro. Stop it, bro. Look at that shit. The dude in the back's like this. He's like, like, what the fuck is going on, bro? You see that shit? Dude's like, I'm telling you, bro, it's like this. Like, he's fucking getting broke back. I take them horses from the bag, smell like last week's trash, and shit from the man. That shit looks fucking, bro. What the fuck is going on? Bro, look at this shit. Let me make this shit big screen for 1 second.
Well, I'm a little drained, but I'm okay.
Drained from the bullshit, right? I mean, let's get to it.
I'm going to get this guy's mugshot.
I hope this video helped provide some clarification in the Cajun Navy's involvement in the Sebastian Rogers search. So we have Chris Proudfoot stating that they brought the Cajun Navy in. They spoke with them while they were out to dinner at the barbecue place that we saw the picture of. Then we have at some point the Cajun Navy being involved with the biological father, aka Seth Rogers. And then we have items found with blood on them, Putting this video together was like a literal jigsaw puzzle. So please do comment down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this live stream or video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on my latest content. Want to take it a step further?
Bring it all in.
And join our community clickers by becoming a Patreon or a YouTube member. You'll get exclusive access to our Discord server, special channel perks, and much more. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.
Click. It's real easy, man.